I'll call my first speaker for regulatory perspective, Mr. Sharma, former advisor, Energy Niti Aayog. Sharma ji, please.
Yesterday it was really nice to see Mr. Neil Chatterjee, who is an integrated chairman of FERC, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission of USA. If we could have had that kind of regulation, perhaps life would have been much better. Currently, we have about 50 to 60 different regulators in power, oil and gas, and other sectors. So yes, there should be an emphasis on integrated regulators. When in 2006 we were formulating regulations for the PNGRB Act, we kept LNG out of the purview of regulations because it was an evolving fuel. It was just born, and a newborn baby can't be put under any regulation. So that's what was one of the issue why we had kept LNG out of the regulations, and today also LNG being under open general license is out of the regulations. Yes, but then there are safety issues which really bother as far as the different issues of LNG usages are concerned, either in the liquid form or in the gaseous, regasified form. Also that biomethane was not a part when we were formulating regulations, and yes, biomethane could not be really kept as a part of regulation, but yes, some rules and regulations could be formulated for use of biomethane as a part of CGD system. Though procurement of biomethane has already been approved by the government at the rate of 46 rupees per kg. So these are some of the issues which are still bothering multiple regulators, multiple regulations, and of course, how really to facilitate the customers and the different stakeholders in the chain. I had been, few hours back, I had been in EB conference, and yes, today, yes, there is a competition between EVs and the natural gas, and which is going to be the major fuel going forward, because EV people are claiming that, yes, we are going to be the cheapest as far as the IC engine mobility is concerned. Natural gas in the CNG form is also claiming that we are going to be the cheapest as far as the mobility of gas-based mobility in CNG form is concerned. Now, the competition is very much there. How the things are going to be evolved is a matter of time. But given the fact that infrastructure for the gas-based mobility already exists, perhaps the gas scores much better over EVs, and the long time existing infrastructure facilitates the gas-based CNG mobility. A couple of issues which I would like to bring it to your attention is that if we have a look at the gas consumption pattern over last 10 years, I could call natural gas as to be a disruptive fuel in growth terms, and no other fuel has grown as much as the gas has grown over the last 10 years. So yes, we do have a very, very large hope as far as the technology disruption, as far as growth of natural gas use is concerned in different energy supply sources. Now, if we look at the global energy architect, everything is toward the green energy, and yes, the gas is one of the major green energy, and the renewable energy and the energy efficiency. These three things are the major blocks of the green fuel. And the way things have been adopted at Paris, that reducing, 193 countries have ratified Paris Accord to reduce emission intensities of GDP, and not by ranging from 20% to 35, 40%, and not absolute emissions, and that's going to help quite a lot as far as the utilization of gas is concerned, to replace oil as well as coal in different utilities. This is a very, very important thing, an important slide. If we just have a look at over last 10 years, the gas has dominated supplies. Last 10 years, the supplies have grown by about 2,159 million tons of oil equivalent of energy, of which the contribution from natural gas had been 34%, contribution from oil had been 24%, contribution from renewables had been 20%, and hydel and is 10%, and of course the coal is the lowest at 12%. Incremental supplies are going to come from, majority of incremental supplies are going to come in the LNG form, not the cross-border pipelines, because about 70% of incremental supplies in the trading route is going to come largely from the LNG route and not the cross-border pipeline. Of course, India had not been very much lucky as far as the transition, energy transition has been concerned. Gas supplies have only grown by about 5% of the total energy. The major growth had been for the coal at 58%, oils 27%, and the renewables had been only at 7%. The gas is just merely 5%. But yes, going forward, looking at the lower gas prices, the things are going to be much better now for the next 5 to 10 years ahead. These are some basic issues which every one of us knows, that why gas should be really used as a preferred fuel. Yes, the differential as far as in the cost vis-a-vis oil utilization and the gas utilization or imported LNG utilization ranges from 50% to 60% in cost advantage terms as far as use of natural gas vis-a-vis the liquid petroleum product, and this has been estimated at different price range of petroleum products. We have a total potential of about 67 to 70 million tons of petroleum products in different sectors, which could be replaced by imported LNG or the domestic gas if it is made available. And yes, the kind of economic advantage which comes for replacement of petroleum product by imported LNG, with reference to 13% slope of imported LNG, it's 10 billion US dollar for 67 million tons of petroleum product, and at the spot price of $4.5 per million BTU, the advantage is close to about 22 billion US dollar. Now, energy sector regulations, of course, everybody knows, but then there are multiple regulators. We need to have, like US, one regulator. Instead of the nuclear regulator, the gas oil regulator, the DGH, the PNGRB, and then 50 odd electricity regulators, both state as well as the state and central regulator. So there should be one regulator like what it is in US. FERC is the single regulator which regulates 3 to 4 times more energy than what India really consumes. Yes, gas sector regulation in India, the CGD and all such things, everybody knows, so that's not a big issue. FERC kind of model should be adopted. The single ministry, single regulator should be the only way which really can work in a proper way, because if we have a different ministries, different regulators, certainly, I mean, that creates a lot of integration problems. If we need to reach a 15% of gas penetration in the country, then 600 MMSCMD of gas is required. Though McKinsey has worked out about 270 million standard cubic meter of gas supplies by 2030, but yes, if we really liberalize the market, somewhere between 400 to 500 million standard cubic meter of gas could be used. Pipeline infrastructure is one of the major areas where viability cap funding is required. LNG terminals, enough capacity is there, but yes, new capacities are also being created. LNG is cheaper by about 30, 40, 50%. Yes, we need to more pump on gas. Also that we need to have an integrated regulator, integrated energy ministries to integrate the entire energy supply chain system so that the multiple investments and the multiple facilities are not created. So, thank you.
Applause for Mr. Sharma for very timely finishing the program.